Hi, I'm gonna show you a little video on weighing food because even though it's second nature to me, I realized that this might be alien to some of you. So it's important that you know how to weigh food. It's not like your big kitchen scales for baking cakes. It's a little bit more accurate than that. So if you can get one of these little small weighing scales. I got this in Aldi. They're normally in any kind of like hardware store or home store, but they're often in Lidl and Aldi as well. But however, if you need one kind of sharpish, you'd get them in any kind of homeware store like that. They're not expensive. Okay, so they're just flat little weighing scales, like your bathroom scales, but obviously smaller. So there's a few different ways you can weigh food, but it is really important if you're deciding to go for the weighing food option on the plan or on the program, then it is important that you weigh your food. It gives you actually a little bit more food freedom than the other methods. The other methods are hand portion control and stuff like that. But if you're actually adding in calories and you're adding in every single crumb of calorie that goes into your body, you often find you have more freedom. You can add the odd little thing in that perhaps you couldn't on the other methods because you wouldn't be so sure on how much calories you'd left and stuff like that. So it is a really food freedom way to track calories. To diet, I mean, is to lose weight, is to track calories. It's lifelong as well once you learn how to do it. So I'm hoping that perhaps during this program you might start to learn how to do this. If not, there are other methods, the hand control and the build your plate and stuff like that. Okay, so I'm going to show you a few different ways to do it. Number one is you can get yourself a bowl. This is just a small bowl, but you can get yourself your bowl, your plate, whatever you're actually going to eat from, and you can put that directly onto your weighing scales, and then you would zero it. Now there's a few different options in this. There's ounces and grams and milliliters. I normally use grams for everything. Even milliliters and grams are normally the same. So if you find that you're adding liquids into the same meal or the same dish as grams, you can leave them all in grams because they're not going to be that different. Okay, so I'm going to zero it. So once you put your plate down, obviously, or your bowl down, or your utensil or whatever kind down, it will obviously weigh something. So you have to bring it back to zero. So you bring it back to zero. You normally have a little option just to kind of like reset it, and it brings it back to zero. And then into that, you can add whatever it is you want to weigh. So say, for example, I'm going to add in some Greek yogurt. Okay, now add in my Greek yogurt, and then that is 24 grams of Greek yogurt there. Okay, so that's one way of doing it. Now, another way of doing it, if you don't want to dirty all utensils, or you want to be a little bit, you can start by putting your yogurt on the scales. Okay, zeroing it back to zero, and then remove however much out of that, and that's now minus 23 on that, which would mean that I have 23 grams of yogurt here. Do you understand me? And then you can add that into your bowl or your dish, or you can stay adding. You don't have to so that's two different ways to weigh like a solid material. Okay, so let's move this out of the way for now. And we will go on, if you're looking for a tablespoon of something, or another little handy tip is if you want to use 15 grams of something, but rather than having to weigh out 15 grams every single time, I'm just saying 15 grams because it's kind of obvious for the thing, you could put a spoon on your scales, okay? Zero it, and add your liquid or your squeezy or whatever it is directly onto your spoon. And even though I've only put like, that's only 5 grams onto that. But if you fill your spoon, you know, you start getting used to eyeballing that. So you start getting used to, well, a tablespoon of that is so many grams. Or eventually you will say, well, you'll have converted it to calories in your head. So say this might be 50 calories. You'll say, well, a tablespoon of that is like 50 calories. Do you understand? So that's another way of going. I'll have all these utensils of food around me. Let's get a liquid. Okay, so a lot of times people forget about tracking things like milk and stuff in teas and coffees. And rather than, what you can do, you can put your cup of tea on the scales, zero it, and add your milk into your tea each time. Okay, so you could do that on the first few days if you wanted. You could say, well, I'm gonna, like, I don't know. A lot of people have similar amounts of cups of tea on the throughout the day. I'm not saying everyone has exactly the same, but you could kind of start by putting your cup of tea on once the cup of tea is made, then zero it, add in your milk, and see that maybe your normal pour, like do with what you normally do. You'd sort of say, well, my normal pour is like, I don't know, 50 ml. So then you make a note of that. And then each time you have a cup of tea, you can just add in 50 ml of milk into your MyFitnessPal or into your head. MyFitnessPal is better. And that's one way of doing it. Another way of doing it is to get a measuring jug and fill out a certain amount of milk into the measuring jug and leave it separate, that's just you're going to use throughout the day, and see how much you use throughout the day, and you could log that in. That you could do maybe 2 or 3 days, and then you will get a sort of an average from that, and you could just add that in every morning first thing into your MyFitnessPal, so you know that your milk is covered for the day. There are a few different ways of doing it. So what other way of doing it? Well, say if you were building a salad, you could literally put your salad bowl down, and as you add food to your salad, you can make a note, either have your MyFitnessPal straight there and tap it right in, or make a written note of what you've added in, and then, like, you know, after you've eaten your meal or whatever, when you've got time to sit down, you could add it all in to MyFitnessPal. What happens is once you start to actually build up this kind of database of food, because look, let's face it, most of us eat similar foods the whole time. I mean, I seem to have about 5 or 6 meals that I just seem to rotate the whole time. Obviously, you know, you're going to have little changes on them, but basic meals. Makes it really easy as well, because in MyFitnessPal you get meal options, so you can actually save up your database. So if you're eating similar foods the whole time, they're going to be kind of saved on your app, and then you would just be able to, like, you go down through it and just do it. Saves loads of time once you start getting used to using it. In the beginning, okay, you do have to manually put everything. On the video from MyFitnessPal, I showed you how to do the barcode. So you get the barcode option, and you scan the barcode of your food, and then you can add your weighing option to get the exact amount that you have put in. It's a really fast, easy way of not only getting calories, but you're getting all your macros, which will be your carbohydrate, your protein, and your fat. You're getting any kind of vitamins, any kind of fiber. So at the end of the day, or at the end of the week, you know, you can see trends of, okay, I'm a little bit low on iron here, or I'm a little bit high on my fats, or I'm a little bit high on the low one, whatever. Do you understand me? So you can get to see what your basic trends are, and then you can adjust if needed. But as regards losing body weight, absolutely, calories are king. So for these next 4 weeks, we're going to concentrate more on calories. But over those 4 weeks, if you have been using MyFitnessPal, you will get an idea of what kind of a trend you're going in. And as I say, if you get used to using this is a lifelong tool. I'm not saying you need to track every day for the rest of your life, but it is really handy to track the odd day, or if you have something, you're trying something new, it's really handy to track that just to get an idea of where you are. And you'd be surprised, before long you really get used to seeing portion sizes and seeing how many calories are roughly in this. And once you know what kind of calories you should be eating to either maintain your weight or to lose weight, it is really, really easy to do this from now on. So that's why I'm hoping that this is going to help you all to do that. And then along with the added motivation from our group, I'm hoping we're going to get great results. Okay, hope this video helps. Be in touch.